מצוין. Hi everyone, good morning, שנה טובה. So today, as I think Asi said, is our last meeting. And today I am going to speak about some apps and websites that are a bit more complicated, but also reading the responded from the survey of last week, we will give some time during this meeting to try and practice. And again, like last week, me and Yulia, we will go over in the different rooms, and we will be able to help as much as we can and to offer help and support in your projects. Um, just maybe a side note, when I am moving around with Yulia in the rooms, then the interpretation channel is not working. So I will speak, Yulia, or I will ask a question, Yulia will translate, and then we will have to have a second of translation. So try to help us with that. Um, I would like to start by asking if there is anyone who is willing to share some usage that you did with something that you learned in our previous meetings. Is there anything that you want to show us? Maybe a game or any kind of activities that someone has already created?
Я могу, наверное, поделиться нашим опытом прошлогодним. Юлия переводит или не переводит? Не слышно.
Шомя, yes.
Yes, в прошлом октябре у нас была поездка в Варшаву, где мы создавали книгу, и она, в принципе, все это время лежала просто в сканах. Сейчас, когда у нас есть Our Books, отличное приложение, туда это можно все всунуть. Я могу даже показать, как это происходит. Вот, я сейчас попыталась делать, да? Могу поделить экран?
Yes, please.
Вот так это выглядит. Вот эта книга, которую мы реально издали, она была в огромном А3 формате, и теперь ее можно сюда вставить как и сканы, и отдельно как текст. Неправильно повернуто, так что можно отдельным текстом и отдельно сбоку фотографию той реальной книги, которую мы так мечтали выложить на сайт. Но как бы без этого приложения у нас ничего не получалось. Так что... И я вижу, что здесь можно даже ее вот прям embed. Сейчас, секунду. Ой. Меньше сделаю. Вот так это сейчас выглядит. Она прекрасно открывается. Здесь можно даже написать всех участников, которые принимали участие в ее создании. Пока что она у меня в очень непонятном состоянии, но я уже научилась, как переставлять страницы. И вот тут есть даже прекрасная кнопочка, о которой мы все мечтали. Embed это внутрь в сайта, так что это очень-очень круто.
Thank you so much for sharing. It's great, and I'm so happy to see that you're already using it, and it's amazing and really good job. Kol hakavod in Hebrew. Thank you. Someone else want to share any kind of usage?
Можно, да. Я хотела дополнить Екатерину. Да, мы тут вместе от Олимпиады Рудайка международной. И благодаря этому курсу, несмотря на то, что мы уже, собственно, давно играем и дистанционно уже 12 лет, эти новые инструменты онлайн, они просто волшебны. Вот Катя рассказала об одном, А я хочу сказать, что я долго, несколько лет мучилась с публикацией домашних заданий команд. Вот мне медаль, не даст соврать. То есть это надо было на сайте делать блог, давать доступ не только команде, не только педагогам, а еще и жюри, и всем другим командам и участникам, которые хотели эти работы разноформатные, а это видео, это PDF, то есть как бы команды не ограничиваются в выборе формата публикаций. И поэтому это было очень-очень трудно и трудоемко. А теперь с этими новыми онлайн-инструментами теперь, ну, во-первых, конечно, Padlet, во-вторых, еще Диккенс я попробовала со студентами Петербургского института иудаики этот инструмент в понедельник. Да, всем очень-очень удобно, потому что тут еще главное, и я думаю, может быть, стоит собирать такие методические наши какие-то разработки по сочетанию инструментов, да, как инструменты сочетаются и разнообразят конкретное занятие, конкретную игру. Вот именно в их, да, как их использовать несколько одновременно, да, методика использования. Так что спасибо большое, Шана Тава. То есть в новом 5781 году гораздо более на новом витке оказались благодаря этому курсу. Спасибо.
That's great. Thank you so much, Marina, for sharing that. I'm so happy really to hear what you have shared with us. And I'm happy that it is helpful. And I think I'm assuming that as we said in our previous meetings, at the first time, it may look a bit challenging and hard to use, but after going in and trying and playing with it a bit, then it becomes easier and you became very familiar with the specific website or the tool, if it's Padlet or our books. And when you're learning how to use it, the second and the third time will be easier and you will become more professional using those tools, and you will be able to use with your students in a better way. Great, I'm really happy to hear that. What I want to speak about today is basically we'll speak about two, we'll see, maybe if we'll have time, it will be three different categories. First category will be how can we use virtual reality. I will show you how to create a virtual tour and virtual museum. The second category will be how to build a virtual escape room or a quest. And the third category, only if we will have time, will be how to use different kinds of websites for video. How I can record myself, how I can create a fun video. That will be the third category. I see that there is a question. If someone can translate the question, then I will move to the, maybe to the, Ken? It is recorded. It is recorded, and I'm assuming that the staff will be able to send it to you after. Great. So as I said, first we will start by with virtual reality. So maybe I can start by saying that virtual reality in the last few years, maybe in the last 5 years, becoming more and more available, more and more easy to use, and therefore more and more in the process of education. For those of you who have not used or are not familiar with the term virtual reality, the idea of virtual reality is to replace our reality with using an app or a website. If you have virtual reality glasses, and it's not very expensive nowadays, you can even buy cardboard glasses. It costs about something like $8 American. I'm not sure what is the exchange Russian money, but this is about how much it costs from cardboard. Then you can put your phone in it, you can wear it on your eyes, and then you have virtual reality glasses. And I want to show you a few examples of what we can do with virtual reality. The first example is example of how we can create virtual tour. And let me switch here. This is my presentation. And here are few of the apps that I'm using. I will start with the tour itself, Round Me, and the Google tool, and I will show you in a second, are very good tools in order to create a virtual reality tool. So Round Me, it's actually a Russian company, it's a Russian app. So it is also available also in Russian and also in English. Let me move to it. Where is it? Oh, here. Round Me. So Round Me, it's an app. It's a website that is connected to an app. So you first build your album here on the website. And after you build your album, you can connect to the album with the app that you're downloading to your phone. And then, as you can see, the idea of this app is to create a 360 album. So you can take any kind of picture, and I will show you in a second how I'm taking the pictures. And then using this app, and I think maybe the internet in my house is a bit slow, so it takes a second to upload. But now when it's up, you can see I can take my students or my participants to wherever I want. And if you can see over here, there is this bubble. When I'm pressing on it, then I am moving to the next place. And as I said before, if you have the option of using VR glasses, then when going to the option, you can see that there is an option, web VR mode, and then you can actually see that there is an option to watch these pictures with glasses, and then it's actually like you're in the place. It's you actually feel that you're not speaking about a specific place, but you are actually experiencing the place. Now, when going to the website of Round Me, you will be able to see that first there are many places where you can take you can travel and take your participants to, and it's a really fun experience to look and to explore different places, creating this kind of album. So when you're creating your own tour, here I have mine. So let's go to the one that I already created. When I'm going into the album, you will be able to see here, this is the button that I'm pressing when I want to edit, because now it's visible, now I want to edit it. And then I can decide what kind of pictures I want to add to my album. When I'm finishing, I'm just switching it from edit mode to view mode, and then I can publish the link to my participants. Now, this is a great app and website. It is a bit challenging to work with. There is an easier option that I will show you, but those of you who want, and it's also, there is a free option and there is also a premium option. Okay, so you have to take that in consideration where you're deciding if what app you want to use. There is also an option of using Google, one of the Google tools called the Tour Creator. This is the logo, and let me log in to show you how to do it much easier. Working with Google is easier, mostly because Google is synced with their Google Maps option. So if you're from, and also obviously it's also available in Russian. It's not only in English. You can see it in English just because this is my computer, but if I'm also translating it to Russian, you will be able to see that it is, this one isn't, but if your Google is, the option is on Russian, then you will be able to see everything in Russian. I see there is a question. Where do I take the picture? From Google Maps? Yes. Even when I'm using the Round Me, I am taking the picture from Google Maps, or many phones today, oh, there is a weird noise. Many phones today have the option to take up 360 pictures. So you can also take a picture from your from the place where you live, and then upload the picture to Round Me. Why using Tour Creator is easier? I will show you. Because when I'm using Round Me, I need to download the picture to my computer from Google Maps, for example, or any other place that it's a 360. But when I'm using, and I will put the link here, because then when we will practice, I want you to try to practice to create virtual reality tours. You will see that here, those are some of my albums that are already created, just because I need to put any kind of picture to the album. So let's say that I'm going into one of the tours that I already created. And here you can see everything is based on Google Street View. So maybe instead of going to a new one, let's create a new one and I'll show you. When I'm going to a new tour, I'm creating a new tour, then I need to give a title, our tour, okay? I have to put here an image. This is the reason why it is asking me. But then you can see there is an option of uploading an image, but there is also an option, and it's very slow. I think it's because, I assume it's because of my internet, but let's wait a second. But there is also an option using Google Street View. And basically every place in the world that is available on Google Street View, you can add to your virtual album. So in a second, when it will load, you will be able to see that I can go to wherever I want. I can also do a search, so I can insert a specific address that I want. Then I can look for it on Google Street View. Yeah, I am. Let me see. When it will find the right place, when I will press here to the right, add scene, it means that I'm asking Google to, I'm asking the website to insert this specific picture to my album. Here, now it's loading, so I can show you. So now I'm in San Francisco, in the United States of America, and I can choose where I want to go. Let's say I'm going here. I see it takes a lot of time. I'm assuming that it's because of my internet, so I apologize. But when you will be able to try it, you will be able to see how to create it. And if not, obviously, oh, here it's working. So here you can see to the right. In a second, it will appear. And you will be able to see that the picture itself here to the right. So the left square over here, it's the square where you will be able to see the map. And here you can insert any kind of address. And here to the right, you will be able to see the picture itself from this place. If you would like to add this picture, pressing add scene, and the specific picture that I have decided to add is added to my album. Now I can give it a title, okay, what I want, doesn't matter. I can explain here in the description what is it. I can even record myself if I want, okay, explaining what is this place. And if I want to add another picture, then I'm going here down, add scene, and here is second time where we're looking for another picture. That way, after I've added as many pictures as I want, I have the option to press publish. When I'm pressing publish, it will ask me, as I said, to put a cover picture. I have to put a cover picture on my tour in order for it to be published. So it doesn't matter, you can put whatever you want here as a cover picture. But when it's published, you will be able, just a random picture that I chose from my computer, now I can do publish and make it public, okay? And when it's public, I can take the link and send the link to my students, to my participants, to you, to whoever I want, and then I can view the tour. And it's a really fun way to take our participants to a virtual tour somewhere else, especially when we're all at home, and especially when it is a bit impossible to go outside and to travel around the world. So it is really fun way. I find it really fun way to ask them and to give them the option of traveling around the world. And it can also be part of an activity. We can tour a specific place that we learned about or that you want to teach about. And as previous to the class itself, we can create a virtual tour asking our students to visit somewhere in the world. And it's very easy, very convenient. And when we will split into groups, for those of you who are interested in creating this kind of activity, I do suggest that you will go into this group and try to practice it, because it takes some time to understand how it works, and I will be able to help as much as I can. Second app, when it comes to virtual reality that I want to show you, it's really a great app called Art Steps. This is the name of the app, Art Steps. Art Steps does not support the Russian language, but I do want to show you what does Art Step is doing and how you can use it. It is supporting the Russian in the app itself, but the platform itself is only in English and in French. But Art Steps is a platform to create a virtual museum. And I want to show you an example that one of the people that I am working with created a museum from his pictures from Israel. All the pictures here are pictures that he took, and I'm the one who is moving right and left right now. And the idea of this platform is we can create a virtual museum about any kind of topic that we would like. We can send the link to our students and then, or the participants, and then they can walk in the museum exploring by themselves what we want to show them. It's a really, really cool experience. It's unique. It gives something else. From my experience using it multiple times, when students are going into the museum, they're very excited, especially if the images or the artifacts on the walls are familiar to them. I will give you an example. You can ask them, the students, to send you any kind of image that reflects how they feel about something. Meanwhile, or tomorrow, or if so, you will ask them, and for the next class, you can build a museum that with the images that they sent. And as you can see here to the left, every time that I'm pressing an image, I can also add an description, and the description can be also in Russian. I will show you in a second how to do it. And then the experience of them touring their own museum that reflects what they feel is really unique. And if you remember, as I said in our previous meeting, in virtual education, there are always two levels. One level is I am building a virtual museum for my students, and then they are enjoying and experiencing the experience. But the second level is always, and it's higher level, to teach my students to build a virtual museum, and then to ask them to build a virtual museum that will reflect what we have learned in class or in our activity. And then it's something really cool because they can change here, and I will show you in a second, you can change here everything. So how does ArchSteps works? When you're logging in, okay, you have to, I inserted the link in the chat. After you're logged in, you're going to create. When you're pressing create, and I must say it's a free app, free website. You can use it for free, and it's a great option. When you press create, this is when you can start building your own museum. Then you get a square. This is the place where you're building your museum on. Now, on stage one, and let's see if I can translate this to Russian. Probably it will be easier. Here. So here you can see the translation to Russian. On step one, this is the stage where I am designing my space. So there are two options. One option, I can design however I want. I can design where I want to have doors, where I want to have walls, etc., etc. I can do whatever I want. Second option, they have here 3 or 4 templates. Here, 1, 2, 3 templates that you can just press, and then automatically you will have the templates that the website will give you. For our practice time, when we will split into rooms and you will have the option of practicing, my suggestion is take one of the templates that the app, that the website is offering you, and don't start building yourself. Later on your free time, when you want to practice the web and the app, then actually start building, and I will show you. It's very easy just to put wall, okay, like this, and I can create my wall, and here I have the wall that I want in the museum. And if I want to delete, I'm just pressing it, and here I delete it. Let's say that this is my museum, okay? Only if I designed my own space, then the second stage is available, and the second stage is I can design, after I have the walls, I can design the interior part of the museum. And as you can see, I can change here everything, whatever I want. I can change the color of the wall. I can change whatever I want. I can use a pattern to the inside, to the outside, whatever I want, I can use to the floor. And it's a really fun way, as I said, to create this kind of activity, because it is very, very creative to use those kind of things. After I created and I finished to design what I want, becomes maybe the most hard and important part. What is the content? So moving to the third stage, here is the first one, here is the second one, and here is the third one. Then you can see that you can upload pictures, you can upload videos, whatever you want, and then you can use this museum for your need. Because let's say, for an example, okay, here is a picture that I already have. So one click on the picture, and I have the picture on my screen. Second click will paste it. Okay, so first click I copied, second click, then I pasted to the wall. Now, if I want to see how it looks like, I can always go to switch view, and then you will be able to see, here is my museum. I did a mistake because I didn't put any doors inside. So now I can see how it looks like from the perspective of the viewer. So here is the picture. If I want to put another picture, then I'm going here. Let's say that I want to take this picture. Okay, as I said again, one click is copying, second one is pasting it. And now I have a museum that I can send to my participants only after I finished with everything. And then on step number 5, I will be able to publish this kind of museum. Then when sending it to my participants, as you saw earlier, they will be able to visit the museum, to see the artifacts, the images, the videos, and also to tour and to speak and to have a great program about it. Before moving ahead, I will ask if there are any questions. Okay, so if there aren't any, I will move to, as I said, to our second category. How do I build a virtual escape room or a quest? And then it will take about something like 15 minutes, more or less. And then we will split into rooms, and you will be able to try and practice and start building your own. And me and Yulia will go in between the rooms, and we will be able to help and support as much as we can. So maybe one word about what escape rooms are before we're diving into the escape rooms. Escape rooms, it's something I think relatively new, maybe 7-8 years since it became such a big phenomena in the world. The idea is that you're going into a room, and in the room you have many kind of artifacts and objects in the room. The door closes, and you need to find your way out of the room in a limited time. Let's say that you have an hour. In an hour, you need to escape the room. There are many small riddles in the room, and your goal is to escape the room as fast as you can. And I even saw escape rooms that are doing competitions, etc., etc. How we can create the idea of escape room through the virtual world. And I want to show you how I am doing it. I know that there are few options. One option, maybe just say a side note, we can also do it through Padlet. I already saw someone who is doing an escape room through Padlet. But I want to show you the way how I'm doing it, and I will also explain why I think it's a better option. So I'm using an Israeli website called Wix. Wix is a platform to build websites. And my escape rooms are based on a website. The idea is, and here I have a few examples. Unfortunately, none of them is in Russian. I will try to translate it on the Google Chrome option of translation. And I want to show you how it looks like. So I'm using Wix, and in a second I will show you how I'm doing it. But let me first show you an example of an escape room. Here is an escape room that I built together with the Shlicha in Pittsburgh, the Shinshinim in Pittsburgh. And the idea of this escape room is visit Israel. So here is a note that's saying that you should use a computer and not your phone. And the idea of using Wix or a website in order to create an escape room is that, at least in my eyes, one of the most important experiences or parts of the quest, of the escape room, is that you can bring your participants into the story. You want to create a story that will put them inside the story. So it can be an historical story. It can be any kind of story that you want. I already saw teachers doing something in chemistry, and the story was, you are a scientist that is trying to save the world from not being exploded, something like that. And the idea is that you can create it on a website, and here is how we did it in this case. So when you're going into the second page, it takes you to Israel, and there is a sentence, welcome to Israel. And obviously the first stop in Israel is the Ben Gurion airport. And because this is the first stop in our escape room, your task is to watch this video. It's a 4-minute video from YouTube about Ben Gurion. And then here you see it. This is a task that we took, if you remember, when we spoke 2 weeks ago or 2 meetings ago. This is from learningapps.org. This is the website. This is how we're combining few tools for one activity. So after watching the 4-minute video about David Ben Gurion, your task is to arrange the correct order of the events in David Ben Gurion's life. Then when he was born, when he passed away, when he declared about the states of Israel, when he made Aliyah, etc., all the events here. If I will check the answers, I will be able to see that if everything was correct and everything was green, I would receive a message saying you're correct, your password is something. And then if you see here, I know the answer. When pressing on the link, there is a guest area and I have to insert a password. And this is how I'm creating rooms, because only if you have the right answer, then you can move to the second room. And it's basically very similar to an escape room. Obviously it's not, because it's virtual, right? But this is how we're playing with it on the virtual world. Maybe I'll show you another example that I've created with my one of the shlichot, the Israeli who were working in community in Baltimore. This is in Baltimore. So she wanted to create an escape room about an Israeli book called Someone to Run With. Maybe you have read it. So here is the escape room. You can see here the instructions. She's bringing you into the story, and here is the story. You're reading a bit about what's happening, what they're asking you to do, what is your task, and then let's run. Let's start the virtual the escape room. And then you're starting to read your task. And if you've read the book, you remember that in the first chapter, they're eating pizza. So here's the task, to eat a pizza in Jerusalem. And the task itself is, okay, there is a pizza place in Jerusalem called Bardak. What is the price for a large katamon pizza? You can check. The answer is 79 shekels. I don't know if it's expensive or not, but 79. Only if I get the right answer, then I can move on to the next step. And if you will think, and now the second step is going to this monastery and etc., etc. But as I said before, the idea is you can create a virtual quest about any topic and any kind of answer. It can be an answer with numbers. It can be an answer with letters. Whatever you want. And it's really, really unique. So how I'm doing it, I will explain how I'm actually doing it through weeks. And then, as I said, we will have some time to practice whatever you want. You can practice creating a virtual tour. You can practice creating a virtual museum or building a virtual escape room. And if there is anyone who wants to practice something else, it's also fine. I would love to try and help. So here is Wix. This is the website, wix.com. As I said, it's an Israeli platform for building websites. It is also available in Russian. I apologize. I will move in between the translation just for myself to understand, but how do you go to Russian? When you go to the settings, languages, and Russian is also available. But so here I have few examples that I already created. Let's say that I'm already taking one of my examples, okay? Just for the sake of the example, I already built something for us to see, and I want to explain how I'm using it. Their editor is very easy to use, very similar to PowerPoint or to other apps. If you remember Canva that we spoke about, also very similar, and it's free to use it. Obviously you can buy premium plan, but it's also free. So let's say I created a website called Escape and I want to edit it. So site actions, and let me translate, see if it's, I can start, okay, site actions and edit site. This is where I'm going to the Wix website editor. It will take a second because it will take a second to load the editor itself. And when it will be up, I will be able to show you what is the trick that I'm doing in order to lock a page in order to make this kind of activity. So here is the website. Okay, this is how it looks. It is important to know about Wix that here to the left, and let me see if I can translate also here. No, I can't translate here. But when you will have it in Russian, then maybe switch. No, okay. It can't translate here. When you will have it in Russian, everything will be in Russian. All the options will be in Russian. So here is the the escape room that I created. And if I'll do preview, you will be able to see that it shows me what I have created so far. So I have a first page. It is important in my eyes to have a first page to the escape room with the title. Then let's start. And then the second page should be bringing you into the story. This is not what the example that you see here, but my suggestion is that the second page will be bring your participants into the story. Then I want to show here to the left, I have the site menu. This is the menu where I want to move in between the pages. This is my first page, and it's very easy to change because, for example, let's say that I want to change the background. So first option is menu, second option background. And let's say that I want to change the background. It's very easy. I will show you just pressing on the option, and here the background change. And if I will press preview, you'll be able to see that now the background has changed. As you can see, it's very easy to build website with Wix. If I want to change the text, I'm pressing on the title, edit text. Okay, I can write whatever I want. I can change the color to whatever I want. It's very easy to do it and to use it. After I have my first page, I want to go to my second page. How I'm moving in between pages, you can see the option here of page. Then I can move to page number 1. As I said, my suggestion is that here you will have a page that will bring you into the story, that will explain what is the task. But here I already have my first riddle. So it says here, and let me preview it, that you will see how it looks like as a website. Here, and there is a link, is a page, and I think that this one I can translate to Russian. Here is a page with facts about Israel. As you know, I'm doing a lot of Israel education, so many of my activities about Israel. Coloring the right facts will give you a number. And the riddle is, what is the number? Now, when pressing on the link, you will be able to see that I created in Word or in PowerPoint, I created a page with few facts about Israel. If I will print it, or if I will color the right fact, I will be able to see that here I have a fact, here, 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 and here. Those facts are correct. If I will color them, I will get the number 4. It means that the answer to this riddle is 4. So If I will press here on solve riddle A, okay, over here, solve riddle A, then it will ask me to insert the answer. But what is the trick? How I'm doing it? Back to editor. When I'm going to the menus and pages option, you can see that next to page number 2, there is a small key over here. This key means that this page is locked. How I'm doing it? Pressing on the 3 dots over here, and then pressing on settings, and then permissions. The page is asking me who can view this page. And again, when you will have the entire website in Russian, you will see everything in Russian. But again, and I will start from the beginning, if I want to lock the second page, because first page is my riddle, and I want that if they want to answer correctly, they will move to the second page, then on menus and pages, I define that for the second page on settings, permissions, password holders. Only people who have a password can log or can enter this page. And then what is the password? For this is the password that I want to define. After I define this password, I can do back, and here I have a page with password. And to show you that it's happening, let's do publish, okay? Publish means let's actually go online and see how the website is working. Are you ready? Yes, and let's switch it to Russian because this is already a website that I can translate to Russian. Here is my escape room. Let's start. Here is the question, solve riddle A. Here is the question, and I can insert my answer here and then continue. And then it will take me to the next step. If, and I will show you it, let's say that I'm going to menus and pages and settings and permissions and everyone back and back, okay? Let's save it and then publish it, okay, and see how it looks like now. Then you will be able to see, switch to Russian. Let's start. When pressing here, it won't ask me for a password, okay, because I defined that on page 2, we do not need a password. Then again, I want page number 2 to have a password, settings, permissions, password holders. Password is 4, back and back. Now I need to go to page number 1, and I also need to define that this title, this text, is a link. So pressing this text, here you can see the icon of the link. This is the icon. Pressing on this icon will ask me, what do you want to do with this link? And then it can be none, it can be web address, it can be page. I want this link to take me to page number 2. And if you remember, we already defined that page number 2 has a password. And this is basically the idea of how I'm creating the virtual escape room. I see 2 questions. I don't know if it's a comment and a question. Let me move to Yulia's channel. Oh, okay, this is the first question. I would love to send you the link, not a problem. And the second comment? Oh, okay, yes, I will, not a problem. I will send the link to the website. Any questions about creating a virtual escape room, a quest online? Okay, great. So I will insert here in the chat. Let me insert, and here you have also the link to Wix. So you have now three links. First is the tour creator, to create a virtual tour. Second option is Art Steps, create a virtual museum. Third option is Wix, to create a virtual escape room. What we will do now, we will give 20 minutes. Okay, I know it's not a lot. It's not a lot of time. It's only to try and start practicing what we have learned about. Yulia and myself will move in between the rooms, and I will try to help as much as I can. I see that there is a question. Let me move to the I don't have any pattern or any I'm creating every time and something new. It really depends what is the topic that I am choosing. For different topics, I will choose different backgrounds, different options, different fonts even. So unfortunately, I don't have something that is already built and I can share with you. But I will say, try just, to create 2 pages. That one of them, the second is locked, and try to play with it, how to do background, how to add text, how to create a link, how to lock a page. Those are the things that I think are important to try and practice while we're practicing it. Okay, any kind of questions before we're splitting into rooms? So I will split into 4 rooms, and Yulia and myself will move in between the rooms. As we said, you can work on any kind of activity that you want. And whenever you have any question, I would love to try and help with the questions. So I will open the rooms now, and we will be back in about 20 minutes. Back. I see that everyone are back.
Можно уже вопросы задавать?
What was the question? Yes, of course.
Да, вот мы там галерею пытались создать. Вот вопрос в том, что как зафиксировать картину именно на стене, потому что мы создать картину получилось, а вот зафиксировать, чтобы она осталась на стене, ну, не очень.
So after I understand, as I said at the beginning, it is a bit challenging, but when you're placing the picture, there are 3 arrows, one blue, one red, and one green.
Да.
The arrows are how you can take the picture backwards and forwards, right or left, and up and down. So after you're placing the picture, if you want to move it, then playing with the arrows, this is how you put it exactly where you want. It takes some time. I know it's not an easy program to play with. I think, and I'm honest.
Я извиняюсь, поиграть мы поигрались. Вопрос в другом, что вот мы когда зашли в нее, картина где-то в море улетела, где-то не на стене осталась она. То есть суть в том, как зафиксировать на стене, чтобы когда мы гуляли, она на стене лишь стояла.
So maybe this is where you placed it. You can always delete it and put it.
То есть я сразу в небо установил ее.
Yeah.
А визуально было на стене.
And then you couldn't move it down?
Да нет, ну как бы визуально мы смотрели, все на стене было. Вот как именно зафиксировать ее на самой стенке, чтобы она осталась там, когда мы... Давайте.
Ну, когда создавали, она осталась на стене. Когда пошли гулять, она оказалась где-то наверху.
In the sky. Yes. So it's my best suggestion is to play with it a bit. It's not an easy platform. It took me about maybe an hour of games with it until I understood it well, and only after I built maybe 6 or 7 museums, now it's easy for me. So just to play and practice with it. I think it's very interesting that all of you chose to practice the museum. More
Потому что
questions.
одно из интересных.
Есть вопрос. Мы попытались
I
поделиться
agree.
ссылкой, но у нас не получилось между собой поделиться никак ссылкой. А где она находится? Там мы тыкнули с одной стороны view, с другой стороны view, но он все изменил, а ссылку не предоставил. Где ее можно найти?
So it's a good question. Thank you for asking. On the 5th stage, you remember there is the first one that you need to design. Then it asks you if you want it to be public or private. Only when you're moving it to public, then you can share the link.
Понятно, мы на третьей ступени пытались это сделать, и да, забыли про пятую, про следующую.
The 5th. Yes. Yes. So it is a great platform, but as I said, you need to play with it a bit. More questions.
Ссылки на все сайты, которые проговорили, можно? Там у нас только получается 2.
On the chat?
В чат, да. Yes.
Yes. So I will share. You mean I can share it now. So here is the weeks. This is for the virtual escape room. Art steps is for the virtual museum, and tour creator is for create a virtual tour. And I think Asi maybe said it at the beginning. Asi and Debbie asked me to create one page with all the links and a short sentence that will explain what this link is doing. I will do so. They will translate it to Russian and they will send it to you. So that way you will be able to have all the links with from all the 3 meetings that we spoke about. Okay, so I see in my clock we have 4 minutes. So it's not enough to speak a lot about what I said at the beginning, videos and those kind of things. Maybe I'll show you one website, one tool that I really like. It's not actual tool for education, but it really helps me with everything that I'm creating virtually. When I'm creating a presentation or any kind of flyer or anything that I want to show, apparently, and I'm not an artist, I'm not coming from the art side of learning, there are some colors who are matching to others. For me, it's big news. I didn't knew that, but apparently there are. And I want to show you a very nice tool when you are creating presentations, when you are building a PowerPoint, or when you're designing anything, how you can use a virtual tool that will help you to match colors. This tool called Coolers, this is the name of it, and I will paste it now in the chat. And I want to show you how I'm using it. Let's say that I have a presentation and I want to use the color yellow, for example. So when I'm going to the generator of Coolers, here is, and let me translate it to Russian. Here are the colors, the different colors that I can see. I can choose here, I can choose a different color. And when I will move it, you can see I can choose a specific color. So let's say that I want this color to be my main color in my presentation. So I can lock it. Okay, I locked this color. Now, every time that I will press on the space bar, I will see the matching colors or the colors that are totally that they are on the other side of the color spectrum. Here is 1, 2. Every time that I'm pressing, I can see colors that matches or complete these colors. And I find it a great tool for me to the time when I need to build any kind of a virtual presentation, because it is really, really helpful, at least for me. I want to finish our time together by showing you a specific person that you may be familiar with. And then obviously, if there are any questions, I would love to hear. Are you familiar with this guy? Give me any kind of a nod if yes or no. This is a Turkish guy. His name is Nusert. This is his name. He's a chef. He cooks meat. This is his specialty. But he have, until a few years ago, he had one restaurant in Turkey. Then he started to do something really special. He started to add salt to spice the meat in a special way. He's putting the salt when the salt drops from his hand to his elbow to the meat itself. And from that small things that he does, he became a superstar. He owns a few restaurants around the world right now. All the big celebs are going to eat in his restaurants. And if you're thinking about it, what he did, he was basically a chef, but he spiced the meat in a special way. And if you're asking me, what I would like you to take from our meetings is, if you're spicing your meetings with your students, your virtual classes, in a special way, you can become superstars. And it's not me, it's Nusert. Look at him, this is what happened to him. So thank you very much for your time. I hope it was helpful. Shana Tova to all of you. I hope we will be healthy and well. And thank you very much to the staff that invited me.